Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me for day 2 of our reading group. And we're still focusing on the book, The Leaning Tower. So if you want to get that book out, this is what we're going to be working on today. Also, bring up your worksheet that was with the book. We're going to be doing our word search today. So that's going to be. And you will also need a pencil or a pen, whichever you would prefer to write with. So if you have a pencil or pen, go ahead and get that. I'll give you a minute to grab that. If you want, you can hit pause right now on the video, and that will give you time to get everything that you need. So go ahead and do that, and we'll start in just a moment. Okay. All right, if everybody's ready, we're going to read our book one more time today, and we're going to talk about something specific. We're going to talk about the subject, what a subject is. So I'm going to make my screen a little bit smaller where you see me. And I'm sharing my screen. So we're going to look. Subject. Read with me. Who or what the sentence is about. So the subject is what the sentence or the story is talking about. So some books that we've read, I'm trying to think. We've read Elephant and Piggy before. I think everybody's read Elephant and Piggy. And I know I've read it to you. So the subject of Elephant and Piggy, there's two subjects. There's elephant and piggy, because that's who or what the sentence is about. Now, in the Elephant and Piggy book, I think it's called I Love Slop, there's three subjects: elephant, piggy, and slop, because they're talking about slop. So there's three subjects. Now, in this book that we're reading today, The Leaning Tower, what do you think the subject, or who or what the sentence or the book is about, is about? You're right. It's about a tower. It's about a tower that was built in Pisa in Italy. Excellent job. So that is the subject of our book. That is what we are learning about today. Okay, so just like yesterday, we are going to go through, we're just going to read this book one time today, and then we're going to get to our word work and our crossword puzzle. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. So remember, as we're reading, you are using your finger to finger point along and follow the words. So you're tracking. You can either whisper read along with me, or you can use a nice level 1 voice to read along. Okay. So the title of the book, always in capital letters. It begins with capital letters on each word. The Leaning Tower. This is written by, which is also known as the author, Elizabeth Jane Pustelnik, and it is illustrated by, which is also the person that draws or takes the pictures, by Loic Darien. And our focus question is, why does the tower lean? Do you remember from our reading yesterday why the tower leans? We learned about it. I'll give you a second to think about that. You're right. It leans because it was built on soft ground, so it couldn't support the tower. Excellent job. Okay. So we're going to start on page 3 today. And I'm going to use my cursor or my mouse, the little arrow again, to follow along. And remember, your finger following and whisper reading or level 1. Long ago, workers built a bell tower. It was called the Tower of Pisa. Do you remember where the Tower of Pisa is? You're right, it's in Italy. Great work. It took many years for workers to build it. Right away, the tower started to lean. That's not good. We're on page 5. Workers built it on soft ground. The tower leaned. So remember, when we're building something or constructing something, you want to make sure it has a solid base or a solid foundation. Otherwise, it might tumble. Now we're going to move to page 6. Workers built it too tall. The tower leaned. Workers built it too skinny. The tower leaned. Page 8, turn in your book. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They dug under it. Do you remember what they did to stop it from leaning more? On our next page, it tells us workers stopped it from leaning more. They, the workers, that's the subject of this sentence, put ropes around it. Turn to page 10. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They put weights on the ropes. The tower still leans, but it is safe for people, which means that it's okay to still go up and lean and walk on it. People call it the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and that is in Italy. Good remembering. Great. So yesterday, I asked you, we had some connections. Did you draw a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa? I bet you did. It was pretty cool, wasn't it? Did you try and build your own tower using materials? How high were you able to build it? If you didn't get to drawing a picture yesterday or finding some materials to build your tower, you can try that today. That's something that you could do anytime, so you can always work on these connections. Okay? Now, yesterday, I asked some questions. We talked about why the workers put the ropes around. We talked about some facts or truthful items that we learned about the tower. And then it also asked us some questions. What is another way workers could have kept the tower from leaning? Now, I asked you to think about this. What is another way that workers could have kept the tower from leaning? I was thinking about this all day yesterday, and I thought it was kind of hard to come up with something. But one thing I thought was that they could have attached some ropes, and instead of weights, they could have used a car or a truck to pull those ropes and prop it up. Another way that I thought about was sometimes when you're building a fence, you have to put, you have your fence and you have to put another piece of wood to prop it up so it doesn't lean. So I thought maybe they could build some big beams to prop it up. How about you? What did you think about? How do you think that they could have kept the tower from leaning? Those are some great ideas. I like them. Now, the second question, if you visited Pisa, would you climb to the top of the Leaning Tower? Now, I already told you I would not climb to the top of the tower. It looked a little too leany for me, and I think I would be afraid that I might fall off of it. But what about you guys? Would you climb to the top of the tower? It might be a fun adventure. It could be something you'd tell your friends about. So think about that. Why or why not would you climb to the top of the tower? That's something that you could share with someone at home. Maybe you have a sibling, a brother or sister, or someone in your family that you could read this book to them and then ask them why or why not would they climb to the top of the tower. Okay. So now we are going to focus on our puzzle. Now remember, we are thinking about the subject. So we're thinking about the subject, which is who or what a sentence is about. So I have a crossword puzzle here, and you all have this as well. So I want you to get this out. You might need something hard, a surface to write on, like a clipboard, or you could write on a table or a book, wherever you're at, and your pencil. And we are going to look at our puzzle. I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger here so that you can kind of follow along and see. There we go. Okay, so you've got your pencil. I'm going to grab a pencil here. We have our pencil. And we're going to fill this out together, okay? So I'm going to use my drawing pen, and I'm going to use green today. First thing you do is write your name, and I'm writing on my computer, so this might be a little bit messy, but I'll try to keep it nice and neat. Mr. Erickson. getting better at that. It's working a little bit. And we're going to read the clues of our puzzle. We're going to work on this together, okay? So across, there are clues that go across, and there are clues that go down. So when I look at the across section, number 3, number 5, and number 6, you'll find the 3, and it goes across. The 5 goes across, and the 6 goes across. Down, number 1, 2, and 4. So 1 goes down, 2 goes down, and 4 goes down. Okay. And remember, we are looking for the subject, who or what the sentence is about. So let's read clue number 3. The ground was too soft. All right, let's read that one more time. The ground was too soft. So our subject, again, it's what the sentence is about. Is the sentence about soft? No. Is the subject about was? No. Is the subject about ground? Yes, it's talking about the ground. So I'm going to circle that. And in number 3, you're going to write the word ground. G-R-O-U-N-D. Nice work. And I always like to cross off the clues that I've completed. Number 5. People are safe in the tower. Now the subject is who or what the sentence is about. So is the subject safe? Is the subject in? Is the subject tower? Or is the subject people? So the subject, let's think about that. People are safe in the tower. So in this case, the subject is people. It's talking about the people that are safe in the tower. So the tower is an item, but really we're talking about people. So we're going to write in number 5 across, people. P-E-O-P-L-E. And I'm going to cross that off. The ropes were tied around the tower. I want you guys to think about this one. Can you come up with the subject? And remember, the subject is who or what the sentence is about. The ropes were tied around the tower. I'll give you a minute to think. You're right. Ropes is the subject. The sentence is talking about the ropes. So we're going to write R-O-P-E-S. Nice job. So we have all of our clues going across, and now we're going to go down to our down column. Number 1 down, so that's going to be this section right here. Workers built the tower too tall. Let's read that one more time. Workers built the tower too tall. Is the subject built? Is the subject tall? Workers or tower? It's talking about the workers. The workers built the tower too tall. So that is the subject. That is what this is talking about. So in 1, we're going to go down. We're going to do W-O. Our R is already there because we found that clue going across. K. The E is there. R. S. We're going to cross that off. Oh, I forgot to cross off my 6. Number 2 down. The men dug under the tower. I want you guys to think about this. The men dug under the tower. What is the subject? What is this sentence about? You're right. It's about the men because they were digging under the tower. So we've number 2, and we're in the down column. Number 2, we're going to start with M, E, and again, our N is already there because we found that clue already across. Cross off number 2. Number 4, the tower leaned. So our subject Again, always our subject is who or what the sentence is about. So in this case, the tower leaned. It's not about who, but it's about what. It's talking about the tower leaning. So our subject is tower. So we go to number 4. We're going down. T. Our O is there because we found that people clue. W. The E is there. And R. And I'm going to cross that off. And we just finished our crossword. Nice job, you guys. All right, tomorrow we are going to start our next book, and it is called A Look at Fossils. So this is what we're going to start tomorrow. So don't work on that yet. We will begin tomorrow, and we'll do 2 lessons on that as well. So great job on the Leaning Tower lessons. You guys did awesome with your reading. We solved our crossword puzzle. We learned what a subject is, and we answered all these questions. So don't forget, if you haven't yet, you can draw a picture of the Leaning Tower. You can describe some things about it, and you can try and build a Leaning Tower of your own with some materials that you find at home. So keep reading, and I'll see you next time. All right, adios.